Welcome to the Jack and Pat podcast with your hosts, Patrick Dempsey and Jack Castagna. On today's show, we'll be reviewing Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 7, The Broken Man, as well as reviewing the movie Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stopping, starring Andy Samberg. We will also debut our Frank from Ant-Man segment. Here is your host, Patrick Dempsey. What's up for everybody? This is the Jack and Pat podcast. I'm Patrick, that's Jack.
Hello.
And we'll be doing a couple of different things during the show, including a review of Game of Thrones episode 7 of season 6.
Come on, man, get it right.
What's the name of the episode?
I'm a big Game of Thrones fan.
The Broken Man. And let's start off with our opening thoughts of the episode. What did you think?
Well, I thought the episode was a lot more eventful than the last one. I felt like,
it was less of a filler episode than the last episode.
Yeah, it mostly was. I don't know. It basically set things up. The last week's episode. Yeah, it was kind of like
I could have done a little without all the Hound stuff. It was a little much, but I saw why they needed it. You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree completely. But it was great to see them. I like how they finally started off. Like in season 4, episode 1.
Yeah, where they melted the sword.
Yeah. Right before it went to the main title. I like how we had one of those.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it felt good to see him. He was just as scarred as ever. It was a little bit of a surprise. I mean, they're throwing in Benjen and all these other surprises. Yeah. So it's
this season's moving way quicker than any other season before.
Oh yeah.
But because we got to get this shit done.
I know, yeah, really.
All right, let's go through the varying storylines. We'll start off. We already talked about the Hound, so we'll start off in King's Landing with Marjorie and Cersei and Olenna Tyrell. What were your thoughts?
Well, I don't know. I feel kind of more like an interview, yo.
You know.
But no, I'm kidding you. But yeah. So. At first, it looks like Marjorie is just living in this perfect, odd utopia where everything's just perfectly fine, you know. But it's
I think she's playing everybody, you know, with the last episode. Because in the episode before last, when she was talking to Loras, and he was like, "I've had enough. I want this to stop."
Yeah,
she realized she had to change her tude. You know, she had to start playing a different game. She couldn't just keep refusing. You know, all those psychopaths. She had to, play their game and play the long game. You know.
Yeah, she's a very unpredictable character.
Yes,
she went in to go visit Sir Loras, and she was like, "Oh, we're gonna totally turn
starting
on these
off."
people,
She was with Renly, and then he dies, and she goes, "Oh, let me marry Joffrey." He dies, and she's like, "Oh, let's go marry Tommen," and then he's a dick. All right, I'm a little kind of sick of the King's Landing. Personally, but I love me some Olenna Tyrell, but she's a gilf.
She really is. She's old, but
not because of her looks, because of her personality.
Yeah. Don't be hurtful to all those old viewers out there.
All right, King's Landing, blah. Let's go on to Jon Snow. He starts off with the Wildlings, then he goes to House Mormont, then the Glovers.
Yeah, I really like his new coat that he's wearing. Kind of reminds me of Lord Eddard Stark.
Stark, yes.
Hopefully he'll keep his head.
Tormund just put the Wildlings in place. He's like, Jon saved you. These Boltons are just gonna.
The Wildling Louis C.K. Is that what you're referring to?
The Boltons are just gonna go and. They don't like wildlings. No one does, especially not Samwell's father. He fucking hates them.
Oh yeah. Oh, and you know what? He lost his sword.
Heartsbane.
Yeah.
Heartsbane. Is that the name of the sword?
It's a Valyrian sword. That's all you really.
There's only a couple of them. Joffrey had one. He died.
Yeah, and they buried that one. Remember that? They just buried it.
Brienne has one, that was weird.
Yeah, she hasn't used that one.
Yeah. How about when they go to see the Mormonts? What do you think of that?
What's her name?
Lyanna. Named after Lyanna Stark.
Yeah, she is something.
Yeah.
She doesn't take shit from anybody, even the people who are sitting by trying to counsel her. She's like, At one point, she just shoves her hand in their face and just I don't want to hear it.
And then Davos just comes in clutch.
He did. Remember in Bravos? He started. He got all that money for. He ended
from that pirate.
They all ended up abandoning status.
He lost his fingers.
Yeah, he loses everything.
First, he got the pirate. They did that. He lost his fingers, and he went back for the pirate. That black guy.
Yeah.
The black pirate guy. I don't know his name.
It doesn't matter.
And then he goes to the Glovers, who just say,
fuck you.
Yeah, they're just like, Rob didn't save us, And then these Iron Island pricks just came in and they imprisoned my wife and my daughter, and he's just like, I can't go for that.
And then Sansa tried to pull the same card with the Mormonts.
No, she put her in place.
She tried talking up, and it kind of worked for the Mormonts, but she tried doing it for the Glovers, and he was like, fuck you,
The Glovers don't want them any Starks.
No.
And then Jon's like, we got the army we have, and Sansa's like, you sure you trust this guy Davos? And then she's like, I think she's writing to my boy Littlefinger and getting the Knights of the Vale, which Jon probably will like but won't like because Littlefinger let Sansa get freaking raped by Ramsay.
And you know what? One thing I really like about that is how she does it all in secrecy. Like, it's like she trusts Jon, but up to a certain point where she feels like she can't trust him with this type of information.
Yeah, but like she hates Littlefinger, but she learned everything she's got from Littlefinger. When Littlefinger comes and confronts her and says about the Blackfish, she doesn't tell Jon, and with this too, she's not telling Jon, so I can't go for that, but she's cool.
I think there's a little part of her that's just still not 100% there because she has trust issues. Ever since season 1, she's had trust issues. So.
All right, let's move off that. How about Yara and Theon and Volantis? What do you think of that?
Oh well, looks like Theon's a little bit jealous with Yara's lady loving.
Yeah, Theon. I feel bad for him. He was such a poon hound, but.
He really was.
He was always trying to get laid.
He was Roz's number one customer.
Yeah, until she got killed by Joffrey.
And when he had a cock, so.
Yeah. Then he got cut off by Ramsay. He's not a cool guy. Yara's like, kill yourself or become the old Theon.
Yeah, one of the...
I respect that.
Yeah. One of the important things that you should look at when you... look at that episode is that when he's looking around and seeing Yara with all those women, he's like twitching kind of as if he's still like a part of him is still with.
Feels it.
Yeah,
he's like, I wish I can fuck these women, but I have no dick.
Yeah, and definitely
he could do other stuff though, right?
Yeah, I mean, he should learn from Varys the best.
Yeah. I mean, I wish if we were in the 21st century, he can get like a synthetic one. But,
yeah, probably lamb.
I mean, there's magic. Why can't the Lord of Light give him a new one?
Yeah, really. But
or
somebody.
Who's that guy who freaking made Frankenstein?
You mean Dr. Frankenstein?
Yeah.
When he created the monster?
The former maester who got kicked out of the Citadel. Who?
What's his name?
Pycelle. No, that's not Pycelle. I forgot his name. Who cares?
Khyben,
yeah.
Khyben, yeah.
Khyben.
But it's that scene is really interesting because it shows you that he's still being affected by Ramsay's torture and torment even after he's thousands of miles away from...
he's never come... I mean, he'll probably get back a little bit, but he's never going to get back to the old Theon, who has taken Winterfell and just burned a bunch of farm boys because he's like, he can't find Bran and Rickon. That's not cool. But, he's a better guy now.
More girls for Yara, though.
Yeah, all right. Let's... the last part is Arya, and well, not the last part. We got one little... We got to talk about that ending, but before that, Arya and Braavos... the waif just fucking stabbed her.
Yeah, they went all red wedding, like Lady Talisa.
Like she's just walking around, no one's helping her. The Braavosi.
Yeah, what is that? They were all looking at her.
The Braavosi are not a helping bunch.
Yeah,
I don't know what's good. She's gonna have some showdown with the waif, maybe Jaqen.
Who do you think will help her though?
I don't know. I was thinking as it was going on. I thought Lady Crane, the actress who she saved, I thought maybe she would see that and take her in. But, maybe.
I have a feeling maybe she'll go all Rambo and fix it herself,
Maybe she'll burn it.
Yeah.
She'll burn herself just to stop getting infected and shit. All right, and how about that ending? What do you think of the Hound, that whole storyline? It was just, the whole purpose of the episode was just to introduce them and then kill them.
I know.
So the Hound
Game of Thrones is really known.
So the Hound could just, leave.
That's what is it, the fourth scene with the Hound? There's too much Hound there. I like him. It's good that he's back, but that was just...
I very much enjoyed this episode. It's just a little less Hound and a little more something else, Would have been a little nice, but...
Maybe a few more stabs from Arya. That would have been nice.
All right. How would you... final thoughts on the episode?
And
a rating. After rating, Final thoughts rating.
You know what? I really liked the ending of the episode. Was like phenomenal. How when the Sandor Clegane went to, he just picked up that axe as he was walking off. You know, it kind of But it seems like though when he picked that up, it's like he had like a different purpose. You know, it's not like he was just picking up and gonna kill just because he liked killing, as he said in the previous episodes. A couple seasons back when he told Bronn, he's like, killing is my favorite thing to do. And, you know, but it seems like when he picked up that hatchet, it seems like he had an actual reason to pick up that hatchet.
Yeah.
As if he had like a mission or he's going to kill, but for the right reasons, you know. But that was a nice turning point and a nice way to end the episode, in my opinion. It showed how people can be absolutely gone, but it seems like they're gone, but they could always turn around.
Well, he got like that speech like from that priest guy who was like, he's like,
you mean the guy that plays
Blackbeard
from Pirates of the Caribbean,
Ian McShane, but he's like, it's like violence. You know, I'm not gonna sit around and like you don't stop disease by spreading it with the violence thing, but. You know, he kills the Hound. All he knows is killing shit.
Yeah.
You know, his brother just he took his toy and he just shoved him into the fire.
He's known violence since he was a kid.
So, all right, what's your rating about this episode?
I'm going to give this out of 5 stars 4. You know, I thought this is a very, very good episode.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Yeah, you have 4?
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like it was a lot more promising than last week's episode. Yeah, I mean, not saying that it was
I
bad.
enjoyed last week's episode. Yeah, but it was just a little more filler. Not filler. Nothing's filler on the show. But it was just a little more like trying to set things up. You know, not much happened, which, I mean, this season has spoiled us with everything that's happened. You know, but
really.
Yeah, I thought it was a very very good episode. A little too much Hound. I'm not a huge fan of the King's Landing, but I appreciate what happened in King's Landing. So I'll have to agree with you, a 4 out of 5 stars.
What are you gonna like?
Oh no.
Yeah, like it basically, one thing I like is when we were looking at the previews for next week's episode, it kind of seems like more of the same stuff, which in my opinion is good, because so far this season has been so far like everything's constantly changing. So, you know, it feels good to have people like the same storyline a little bit from King's Landing from next week's episode to this week's episode, but it definitely seems like more shit is about to go
what is your
down.
prediction? What are some predictions for next week's
I don't know.
episode?
I feel like definitely in the previews you see the Mountain scene and a little bit more action going against the High. It's not a real challenge for him. You know, I'd like to see him actually have people fight with real swords. You know,
Lancel's like, shut up, Cersei, and she's like, I got the Hound. I mean, the Mountain. Sorry,
the Hound. Hopefully.
No,
but yeah, it's. I don't know. It feels like it won't be a challenge for the Mountain. That's for sure. Definitely not against the High. The Sparrows. But
definitely shit's going down in River Run. You know. Brienne's like,
oh yeah, they get reunited. I forgot about
Brienne's like, you know, if you fight, I'm gonna have to fight for whatever his name is, the Blackfish, for the Tullys, and he's like, no, I'll fucking kill 1,000,000 Tullys. I love Cersei.
How about that though? That episode was with Blackfish? It's just he just did not give a fuck. They're like, yo, we're gonna kill your nephew, and he's like, kill him. I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about. I skipped that. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a bad host. Let's go back around. What do you feel about the Riverlands? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't believe you skipped that. The Blackfish, you know.
No. He's my favorite character. Man.
Yeah. He just did not give a fuck, man. Like the Freys are not really good at interrogating or persuading him to do things. He just doesn't give it.
Yeah.
Half of his family died.
Yeah, he's like they're gonna hang Ed Murray. He's just like hang him.
He's like there. He killed all my other family. What's a shitty nephew gonna do?
All right. Well, I mean yes. So that's our thoughts for River Run and the next episode.
Do you think? Who do you think? Brienne will side with? She said she'll
Tullys, obviously.
Yeah, but do you think they would actually fight?
Maybe.
Her and Jaime fight each other?
I don't know, but she's sworn she's not, because her sword's name is Oathkeeper. She's not breaking an oath. So you know her for that.
And Jaime said, "Oh, I'm gonna fight for Cersei's cunt."
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
He loves him some sister.
Hopefully it won't come to them fighting, but you know that would be it.
I want to see that.
That would be pretty cool.
I want to see that.
I don't want to see.
No, I do.
You know, really?
A little bit.
I don't know. I feel like two lovers fighting.
All right. That's gonna do it for our Game of Thrones talk of the week.
let's move on to a movie we both saw this week.
Oh yeah, movie review.
Our movie review segment of the Jack and Pat podcast. Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stopping, starring Andy Samberg and directed by his two other Lonely Island Jorman, Akiva. It was I very much enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
Especially they spoofed TMZ. That was pretty funny.
Oh my, that was that was by far the most accurate portrayal of that.
What do you think?
I really liked it. I when I saw it on the previews, like on television or as YouTube advertisements, as many of us dread, but
I have YouTube Red, so I don't have to watch.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
it's nice.
I money doesn't come easily for me, but I like to spend it on food.
Wendy's.
Wendy's. But
this podcast is not sponsored by Wendy's.
No. Definitely not sponsored. Oh, maybe not sponsored by anything. Brand. Or Jack and Pat podcast. But anyway, but like when you see it on the previews, I was like, wow, this movie is just going to be one of your normal, typical comedy movies. Make you have a few laughs, but not a good movie altogether.
Most comedies are just shit.
Yeah.
Some funny.
It's like some horror movies. Like most horror movies.
I went into this. First of all, I wasn't planning on seeing it when I first heard about it, and then I started reading Rotten Tomatoes, and it was 79, 80%, and I was like, maybe I'll see this movie. I saw it. I very much really liked it. It was very funny. It had me laughing. Maybe it dragged a little bit at certain points, but not really. The pacing was pretty good.
Good amount of laughs, too. And they were spaced out. One of the things that me and Pat both really enjoy is that this movie had a lot of laughs that weren't in the trailer. Like most comedy movies.
No, yeah, most comedy movies. Not even just comedies. Most movies spoil the whole movie. They'll take the whole movie, condense it to a 2.5-minute form, and just you're like, oh, I know what's gonna happen. You can put it together, And
then you go into the movie theater and knowing all the jokes, but this movie was not like that.
It was very. And I only watched the trailer maybe once or twice, so I wasn't very much spoiled for it. How would you rate this movie?
You know what? I will give it 4 stars.
All right. Yeah.
IMDb kind of gave it a semi good rating about it. It's not doing well in the box office, and I don't understand why.
Well, we got a heavy box office. You got X-Men Apocalypse, probably number 1. Number 2 is probably going to be like whatever new movie came out this week.
You mean Amelia Clark's crap movie?
Yeah.
Before you. You know what? She is a very, very attractive woman.
I'm not a huge fan of her acting.
Her acting is
especially when she's
not good.
Game of Thrones when she's talking to in Dothraki. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, she's not good, especially speaking of
you still got Angry Birds out. You got Jungle Book still going.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It made like $9 million last week. You got Civil War still. Then you got The Nice Guys, which I love, but you probably
I haven't seen that movie yet.
It's not making that much money, so
it's got to be.
I don't even think it started in the top 5. It might have.
Really?
You got a lot of movies out there. So.
But you know what? It's definitely a movie me and Pat both recommend.
Yes.
It's especially if you're looking for good laughs and not that bad of a movie. I thought it was very well put together.
No,
there's a ton of cameos, and I don't want to give any cameos away. There's definitely hundreds of cameos in it. It was Andy Samberg is very good like that. He's very good at figuring out when the best laughs are and how good they're supposed to be. He's been on SNL. He's probably one of the only few really successful SNL people.
Well, there's been a lot.
Really?
Not a lot, but there's been some.
He's also on his own show, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's a veteran. So he definitely knows how everything works. But I thought it was a very good movie.
Yeah. It made $4.6 million at the box office. That's a little disappointing. It was $21 million budget. Hopefully it can get that back. I mean, that's I'd rather see that over some of the shit that's in like Ninja Turtles. That was number 2.
I
think that was number 1. Sorry.
Is that the second one?
It's Out of the Shadows. That came in number 1. X-Men number 2. That should pile Me Before You number 3. I don't know what came in number 4, but hopefully go out and see that, please. Yeah. And all right. I gave it 4 stars as well, in case anyone cares. Probably not.
A little bit.
All right.
Not too much.
That is going to end our movie review of the week in the Jack and Pat podcast. Now we're going to debut a segment called the Frank from Ant-Man segment. It's where we take an unsung hero of the week from whatever we saw, whether it be a movie,
Drum roll, please.
Game of Thrones, and our Frank from Ant-Man of the just wait. Let me just explain. Frank from Ant-Man. He was in Ant-Man. He gets killed by Darren Cross. He turns into goo. He's just an unsung hero.
He's in the movie for like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
but
he gets killed in the bathroom. Gets flushed down the toilet.
He's very close. And by the way, follow him on Twitter, Frank from Ant-Man at Goodbye Frank.
At Goodbye Frank.
You know, he's a.
It's worth the follow.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Our unsung hero of the week comes from this episode of Game of Thrones, and it is Lyanna Mormont.
Yeah, you know, she is just a complete badass. You know, she's what every little kid should be. She's what Joffrey should have been.
Yeah, no, Joffrey
a good, powerful leader who's not a little shit. You know,
mm-hmm. Yeah. No, yeah, she just told John's whatever. She just told him what it is. She told Sansa how it is. The only one who got her support was my boy Sir Davos, because he's a boss. But
he is a boss.
Yeah, he's awesome. But so that's our Frank from Ant-Man of the week. That'll do it for the Jack and Pat podcast, our inaugural episode. We thank you for listening, and keep on keeping on.
Yeah, keep on. See you later, guys.